Organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by providing their 6 basic needs of clean water, proper food, healthcare, education, job skills, and a loving home. Visit corelove.org, that's CORELUV.org. Will you help defend the orphan?
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. I mean, it has been a windy 2 or 3 days. It's just a mess. Stand there, brush your hair, make your hair look, try to make it look good. Walk outside, it's everywhere. And so, I like that sound, boom. Yeah, that's it. It's like no use to try and do that kind of stuff. So, I know you don't have that problem, Richard, because you always have headsets on. When you go outside, did your hair blow around or you got it sprayed down? Have you got it sprayed?
What are you talking about?
Well, it's been so windy outside.
Do I get blown around or sprayed?
Did your hair get blown around, or did you spray it down?
No, I don't use any product.
You don't use any products at all? Well, I don't either. I just I need to have that.
We also have longer hair than I do.
Rain,
So
true. I went to the gas station this morning and it was blowing so hard, and my hair just blows like I can't even see, And so I walked in there and I went, "How much are these knit caps?" And she said about $5, and I went, "I'll take it," and I took it, and just put it on. I just don't want that hair to blow everywhere. It's so annoying. You're lucky you don't have to worry about that as a guy.
Well, I'm grateful for everything that's in my life. It's the little things, like the hair blowing in my face.
It's the little things. But see, your hair used to be so long.
Yeah.
Would you ever go back to the hair that long again?
I mean, it's laziness. That's why it gets long. It's not like I'm doing it on purpose. Just one day I wake up, I'm like, oh, like for example, now my hair's long enough to where, like, if I wear a ball cap, I have these like wings that come out, and I look ridiculous. And I was like, man, maybe I should get a haircut just to cut those, because I look like a little boy, and it's just. But it's nothing I can do. I have to try to comb it over my ears, but then, just...
It'll come back out as a wing. Samuel's trying to talk to me, and his hair has gotten really long. And when he put the cap on, he pushed his hair forward, and it had this flip up, like he looked like a little girl. And I kept trying to talk to him, like seriously, and it was really difficult. I think anytime a guy's hair flips up like that, it makes him look like
a girl. But then again... I wouldn't grow. If I woke up tomorrow and my hair was long, I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't like about now, I realize as I get older, is my hair is thinner. So if I grow my hair out when it was down to my shoulders, that's when I really recognize, like, oh, my hair's really thin, and I don't like that. I was like, because when I comb it and stuff, it's just like I don't like that feeling. I was like, I don't want to lose my hair.
Well,
but I'm losing it. So
start using that new foil or new. What is that?
I don't know. Yeah, I see ads for it all the time. So I'm probably gonna try it out because I get so many ads. I'm like, you got me. I'll try it out.
Okay, all right.
And then I'll also try the ED mints now. That's the new thing. Have you seen that? Like the Viagra mints. The Viagra mint. So they make mints. So like I guess to be more conspicuous. I'm not really sure why, but like that's what I see the ads for. It's like, get mints to help your ED, and I'm like, wouldn't mints like really confuse people? Like that would be dangerous game you're playing right there. Like carrying that around. It's like, oh, you got mints? Can we have one? I'm like, oh, let me have this conversation with you right now. It's if you take one of these,
my goodness. That's
Well, that's what
that's weird.
I know. It's always puzzled me because I think there's probably some market research about, especially men, with anything that has to do with their bodies. Like they're ashamed of it. Because when they talk about like, oh, if you want to order this XYZ product, we'll make sure no one knows what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who cares?
Like, come in a brown bag, and nobody will know what it is.
Like, 'cause I remember Viagra when that first came out. That was a big deal. It's like even in the ads, it said like if you want to talk to your doctor, there is discretion and all this kind of stuff. Like, so who cares? Like, I still think it's still funny because
it's so bad.
Well, I remember like when I first heard how Viagra worked. It's like you're supposed to take it like 4 hours or something, like 4 to 6 hours before.
No, I think if it lasts.
No. Like it had a thing where like, oh, there's a time where it doesn't
okay.
it's not like instant.
Okay.
And I always laughed because I was like, you're still going through your daily procedure, and you're like, oh wait, let me call this girl or text this girl, and it's like, are we doing this or not? Because like I have to time it, and it's really fun. Like that idea was so funny to me, and yeah, I mean, I don't, it's so great. I love it. But yeah, now the ads are showing mints. And that to me is hilarious.
I have not seen that.
Well, I'm getting older, so all the ads I'm getting are like, oh, you need to up your testosterone. You need to do all this stuff. And
I just love the one at the end of the commercial is, and you know what to expect next. And it's like, this isn't rocket science. You know what to expect next. So that's how graphic they get about that. They don't get any more graphic than that. And these girls that are on the ad are just...
They have to do that, though, because some men are very stupid, like me. And I'm like, what is this again? What does it do? You got to speak in my language. Well, it's not rocket science, but you're going to be... Okay, I get it now. Okay.
And so you understand that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how we got off on that, but I did want to... say thank you so much to our sponsor and start off with that.
Wootton Financial Group.
Wootton Financial Group. And we start talking about...
Well, speaking of planning ahead...
Yes. Oh,
Wootton Financial.
What a great transition that is. That's great.
I love it.
That's terrible.
I do want to let the listeners know I am monitoring the Facebook, YouTube, so feel free to comment at any time, and I'll relay it. I'll interrupt whatever Cindy's saying, because I'll do that anyway. But I want to let them know.
Right. I'm so happy that you recognize that you do interrupt me a lot. I'll be talking and you interject whatever is you think that needs to be said, or you're getting bored with what I'm saying. And,
like right now.
Okay.
I'm thinking, what should I say right now?
Okay. Anyway, Chris Wootton Financial Group.
Yeah.
And you have the phone number right there at your hand, don't you? He'll find that. Why I cannot remember.
It's 936-449-5952.
Okay, 5952.
WoottonFinancial.com.
WoottonFinancial.com. And if you want to hear Chris Wootton, as soon as the show's over, you'll hear him talk about how he wants you to feel welcome to call him and come in and do a meeting with him free of charge. It's not going to cost you anything. And you'll find out if you like him, if you feel like he does know what he's talking about. Yes, he does. And we've used him for years, my husband and I. So I wouldn't suggest him if we hadn't. I promise. If I thought he was...
He's a family friend. That's how good he is.
He's a family friend.
He gets in your family, takes all your money, and somehow he gives a little bit back to you. I don't understand relationships like that. I would think that's a drug dealer.
Do you know Sam? Wait, do you know Sam?
I know
Sam would never let that happen. That's a poor Chris. Sam will say, I'm going to over and meet with Chris. Do you want to come? I went, no, I just sit there and eat the peppermints he has on his desk. And
better watch out what kind of peppermints. I'm telling you. Going out these days. It's pretty wild.
That's right.
See what's sad about that is that when I saw that ad about the mints, I immediately thought I kind of want to get those just to play jokes on people. But like, how cruel of a joke would that be? That would that's borderline not a joke, and it's kind of like, you just dosed me, man.
So Charles, are you feeling a little uncomfortable there? What are you doing?
That would be entertaining though. Imagine going out with a bunch of friends and you're like, I go up to my buddy and like, hey, you see Todd over there? I gave him one of my mints. So like, in about an hour, we got to keep an eye on him. That'd be so funny.
Shame, shame, shame on you. Did you see that the Girl Scouts are now going to be doing mints? They're going to have speaking of mints,
You
not
mean
that kind.
They're cookie mints?
Yeah, they're cookie mints.
They always had those.
No, these are going to be. Oh shoot! Why do I start stuff? Go to the new Girl Scout cookie project that they're doing, that they're selling. It's not gummies. It's that tastes like they're cookies. Oh shoot! I just saw it on Fox News.
That's probably not real though.
Yeah, Richard doesn't believe anything when I say I saw it on Fox
Well, I mean, like,
News.
you're giving me all these keywords that have already existed with the Girl Scouts. Mints. Well, of course, they make thin mints.
Okay.
They have mint bites. And they have mint seasoning. Like, I'm looking... I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
Well, it's a new product they've come out with. And so...
I didn't even know they had seasoning.
So maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it was. Is that you can get the seasoning that tastes like the cookies.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Anyway, it came up, and I just wanted to tell
Well, I
you.
mean, is it the Girl Scouts? That's their primary fundraising, right? And
Right.
because I don't remember I think the Boy Scouts have something similar, but it wasn't. I think it was popcorn or something.
Well, yeah, they stand out there in front of the...
But I think what it became, though, if I remember, and everyone's a listener that's a Boy Scout, it became more individual based. Where like they basically told you, hey, we're not doing this as like you have your team or whatever you want to call it, the den or
Right.
and like as a den you did it. But now it's like for guys, it's like no, if you want to get these badges, you gotta go do them yourself, and you gotta fundraise yourself, and you gotta do these things yourself. We're here to give you the resources. That's it.
Well, Kroger lets them stand up in front of
The Boy Scouts,
Yeah, Boy Scouts too.
yeah, they sell chocolate bars. I think
They did. Yeah, they did.
something. I don't really remember like what exactly because the Girl Scouts cookies became a racket. Like
Right.
Oh
man, it's amazing. They have the whole thing, and you see the movies where they, there's a lot of,
well, one thing that always confused me about the Girl
lot
Scout
of
cookies
competition between those
is
teams.
there was always like it was almost like crawfish, where like there was a season for Girl Scout cookies,
Right. There
and I'm
is.
thinking to myself like it's kind of like Mary Kay and Air Bond. It's like, well, why would you just sell it in a season? Why don't you just establish your den and say, hey, if you ever want cookies, reach your local den, and like you can go on their website and you look up like where's the local Girl Scout troop, and then you just
Yeah.
order them all day, every day of the year.
That's a good. Can you order online?
Well,
you
I
go
think you
online
can,
and
but
order?
I don't know if it goes to the troop. It's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna skip the troop. We're gonna make more money. Just order like your favorite peanut butter cookies right
It goes
here.
to the whole association of.
Yeah, but
Girl
that
Scouts.
troop doesn't see anything of that.
That's not fair.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. I
because
wonder, like, I don't understand why they just set it up like a drug dealer kind of thing.
I think that's exactly what people feel like is
Because
that
my
they're so
nieces
addicted
are
to
in
'em.
Girl Scouts, and I always get the phone call, and I'm like, yeah, I'll buy one box from each.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
What do you buy?
I like the peanut butter ones. I don't know if it's like it's a cookie with peanut butter on top and it's covered in chocolate. I like that, and I put them in the freezer. And then
You do?
when I take it out of the freezer, I get a bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and I put a couple cookies at the bottom of the bowl, and I crush it. And then I get a
Put
scoop of
ice
ice cream
cream?
underneath, and then I go to town.
That's you're so lucky. You have probably a great, like you could eat anything. You're not
No,
gonna
I
get
just don't
fat.
eat 2 scoops.
Eat one scoop.
Yeah, 2 scoops is way too much for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not lactose intolerant or
No,
anything?
but I had 2 scoops of ice cream probably like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I don't understand how people can get these pints and eat the entire pint by them, because they try to sell it as like if you watch the ads for like everyone has their own pint. I'm like, man, that's just too much ice cream. There's no way.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean,
How could somebody?
well, you're a
do
person that
that
drinks like 20 Cokes a day, and
No, I don't either.
yeah, you do. How many Cokes a day do you have?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably too many. 4, maybe.
That's a lot.
Yeah, probably about 4.
But I also drink. I mean, I do other stuff too.
But
so
I try and drink
I'm not judging you.
water and that. I don't drink liquor in that or beer in that and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I just remember, isn't that weird? You've said so many things to me, but what I remember is that if you drink 8 ounces of beer or you drink that, then you need to drink 8 ounces of water and you won't have a hangover.
Well, you'll have a hangover, but it won't be as bad.
It won't be as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was such a, because I was so into water at a point. I was just drinking close to a gallon a day, and the weight would come off, but it was like a career, drinking that much water all the time. I couldn't do it. So, but I should be drinking about four bottles a day, and I don't do that. I just do maybe one or two.
No, you don't do what you should be doing.
But I take my
Trulicity.
But
You'll definitely get your Coke in, or Diet Coke, or whatever you drink. You'll definitely
zero sugar.
Well,
Zero sugar.
This is when you know you have a problem, though. So it's like one of the main issues that people have with water is access to water. It's like, okay, so if I'm going to be here, I need to have access to water.
Right.
But when you have somebody like in their car, they have the 12-pack of Coke, and it's just hanging out in the back. It's just like, oh, hand me a Coke. I need a Coke. That's when I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's going on in this guy's life? Yeah, like instead of having like bottled water, which I think that's what I can see some people having, or they carry around the milk jug of water.
That's what and they say that's so bad because it washes out electrolytes and it's not really good for you to drink more than a gallon of water a day. You shouldn't drink that much. It's not good for you because you're
okay. But do you have Coke in your car? Please,
do I have Coke in my car?
Please tell me you have a 12-pack of Coke in your car.
No,
Please tell me.
No.
No.
Samuel took it out, but
it's in his car.
No, I just have water. But water it really is good, and if you regularly drink it, you want it. It's like it's not. A lot of people say I can't drink water. Makes me want to throw up. I can't drink water. I don't know how people do that. I'm like, you must be doing it right out of the faucet. I can't drink anything out of a faucet though.
Well, I guess the way I approach it is just drink it. Like you're not sitting here doing a flavor palette test.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, like wine. Mm-hmm. It's like you can. I bet if you timed my average water bottle drinking, I'm like, I'm gonna drink this thing like under 5 minutes. Like I gotta drink it. So
I can do that.
Yeah.
But I'm drinking.
Especially when you like drink out of a hose. Like just you drink. Like don't think of it. It's like, it tastes bad. It's like just drink and you're good. Like
when. We used to do that as a kid. It was your mom didn't want you to come back in the house once you went out, so you had to drink. If you wanted water, you could drink it out of a hose, and it was so good. And the water was so heavy. It was like I don't know what something's probably wrong with it by the way that it felt. It just the texture of the water was so different. It was so good.
I get it. People notice that stuff too.
And now.
Especially with water bottle companies, you know, when you go to the store and there's 12 different water bottle companies, and I've had friends who literally have a preference, and they refuse to drink anything else but that. So if you say I went to the store, I'm like, hey, we're good. We got the coolers full of water from Dasani. No, I'm not drinking that.
Yeah, it has so much sodium in it.
I guess you're not getting water. I don't. It's your deal.
And there's one that has the bubbles on it, and it's through an air. The way they distill it is through air bubbles or something, and it's supposed to be so much better for you.
I don't.
It's real light. It does taste better. But anyway, but here's what killed me from ever drinking water out of a faucet again was that I watched Sam. We were having trouble with the septic tank, and Sam takes the water hose and runs it down into the
to fill it and to get it. Yeah.
So it's coming in contact with.
You can just clean it.
But it's coming in contact with it when he. And that was like, okay, I will never drink out the water out of that hose again. So that messed me up on that. Listen, tomorrow I wanted to tell everybody that if there's an author in your life, that someone that you know that just wrote a book and they'd love for people to know about it, I would love for them to come on the show and talk about it. I love people who write.
But she doesn't read.
Yes, I do.
She doesn't read.
No. As long as they have it on that the cover, you can read it and you get it.
I don't know. I don't know if you were around when you were going to school, but you remember Cliff Notes?
Yes. Oh yeah.
And I there were so many scenarios where I was like using Cliff Notes, and I was like, I still don't understand what they're talking about. I should just read the book.
It's like the GBT chat of the
Yeah.
day. It's if you had the Cliff Notes, but I didn't. But it was the kids that were using the Cliff Notes, not me, because that came way after I was out of school.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like it's one of those things that I don't even know if Cliff Notes are a thing today. It's now just go to Wikipedia and be like, there's the plot.
No, you go and buy the book, like on algebra for dummies and that kind of thing. That became real popular, and now it's just AI will take care of it. Tell me how I can best cheat on this algebra.
I mean, realistically,
test.
what we're doing is we're building a society where our physical abilities are going to be higher valued, because when the robots take over, like, we don't want them smart. Right? We don't want them to write their own dissertations and stuff. We want to make sure they can pick stuff up for at least 20 years.
Well, this Ackerman, the real rich guy that withdrew all of his support to Harvard College, said that he's building
a new Harvard.
No, he's going to build the app that says I can detect plagiarism immediately if somebody wrote something that it was all going to be detectable by whatever he builds.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be interesting. Is the plagiarizing that's such a man. When I would write papers for the kids, when I would help them write papers, they said, but you've got to give the sources and where this comes from. I said, that's so what a waste of time. I didn't know it was like against the law to do that, to copy somebody else's stuff. And I wasn't copying, it was just the idea that they had kind of explained what the kids needed to know about this subject matter. And I said, well, that's their explanation of it. And I don't be like, you can copy the Bible, right, without it being plagiarized. I don't know who they would,
Yeah, because they speak weird.
I don't. I see. God doesn't. God wants you to plagiarize it. Use it all. Use all of it. Do it all the time. So he wouldn't care. I don't think. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't care. But anyway, I was going to say that the author that we are going to have on tomorrow, I'm so interested to find out what the Nikki Garcia mystery series was. And Catherine Lane is the author of that series, and I love anything mystery. I love the murder mysteries and all that stuff, and so I'm anxious to talk to her. But she has a book out called Diary. What is this, Diary Stolen? I was just sitting here looking at it, and I love the name of it. Yeah, Stolen Diary. I almost got it right. It's called Stolen Diary. And so hopefully, I don't know how much an author's able to say because they don't want to ruin the book or anything for you, but I love that. That sounds really good. But her husband is the one that is helped promoting her, and I talked to him about her coming on the show, and their life and the way they met and all that was so interesting. I said, she hasn't written a book on that because that sounds so cool, the way y'all met and how you left your prominent job he had and is helping support her and get people to listen and read her. I think that's so sweet. Can you imagine giving up the job that you loved and said, "I'll help you, honey. I'll go ahead and we'll fight all those people." It's hard to get in front of people with an author, and to go in and talk to some guy and say, "Look, I want you to read this."
Oh,
She's
especially
really
if it's
good.
a big book. It's like, yeah, will you read all this? I'm like, no, I don't.
Well, they'll say, "Tell me about it. Tell me what she writes about." And then when they find out it's his wife, that's usually what is the killer, because when I would try and go and talk to producers and stuff about Samantha singing, and I want them to listen to her, this, the tape that we had of her, and they go, "Okay, Samantha Cochran, is she related to you?" I said, yeah, she's my daughter. Oh, your daughter. So you think your daughter is a good singer? And I went, she's amazing. He said, of course you think. So they don't, it just totally diminishes your, credibility because they think, of course you're going to like them. So I was so glad when she got married and became a Combs. And so it was fine. I could go peddle her. That sounds horrible. I was not a stage mother. I was not.
Told you, life on the streets with Cindy.
No, I would. Oh, that's so mean. That wasn't.
Yeah.
She said, because I felt so rotten this morning. I felt horrible. I felt like I was coming down with something, and like fluish, and so I told her. I said, "Okay, I'm getting ready to leave." She said, "You're going to go do the show? You're sick. You shouldn't go do the show. That's ridiculous. You're going to do the show." I said, "No, I think because for 1 hour in here."
You about today? You're sick?
Today, yeah.
Oh, great.
No, but just Lysol this microphone, it'll be fine. But
Again, you put the hose in the septic, just Lysol it.
oh no, no, but
Just Lysol it.
I feel better when I come here and we start talking. You just kind of don't think about it.
I make everyone happy around me. That's my number one thing every day. I wake up, I'm like, let me just give my gift to Cindy today and just be like, let's have a good time today.
It's so healing. It is so healing being here.
Because every time someone leaves the studio, they turn around and they're like, thank you. It's true.
When they leave this show, they always say, what, Richard? What do they say? That was so much fun, and it went by so fast. They all say the same thing.
I can't wait till tomorrow when you talk to this author and be like, I have not read your book. That's what I'm waiting for. It's like, have you read it? Nope. Nope. I've seen the cover.
Well, if somebody would tell me where I don't know where.
Well, I always feel like those kind of conversations are hard to have if you have no way to give input on something that you've never experienced, and you try to navigate that. And you're like, all right, so watch tomorrow because we're going to learn all about how to navigate.
Yeah. How to interview an author of the book that you haven't read.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of Oprah Winfrey when she's interviewing people and the authors and stuff like that. It's funny. And of course, she's
probably read them because she's picked the books.
Yeah.
You didn't pick this guest.
Yes. Yeah.
It came to you.
A little book club.
Through
and all
another
that.
gift called Richard. And here you go, Cindy. Here's a great guest for you.
I'm going to be extremely transparent with this person. I'm not going to tell her.
I don't read.
What I have. I don't read. I can't. No. I'm not going to say that. But I will say that I want to know her process. I want to know how she got the ideas. And she came from Mexico. And so her upbringing, what caused her to feel this way was
I'm
her
actually
parents.
impressed that you did some research on these people I sent you. I thought you were just
Of course.
just book them. You're like, cool, I'll see you then.
No, I really did. I was trying to find...
Except the Mead guys. That's the one that kind of fell apart.
What? Except what?
The Mead folks
Mead,
that were in.
yeah.
You thought they were saying meat the entire time?
I think that's just my hearing. I probably...
Well, I mean, you didn't do any research. Because you would have clearly known what mead is if you're like, looked them up. Like, oh, this isn't meat. This is a drink that they're drinking.
Didn't we just have him come in? He was standing outside at the door, and we said, come on in with your person and tell us what's happening. Armando Nino was on, and they do a lot of different events along Lake Conroe, and so I wanted him to talk about it. But they kept talking about it, and they kept saying mead, and I thought they were saying meat, and I thought, what kind of meat?
Yeah, we know the story.
No, not everybody listens every day.
Yeah, they should.
Dennis is probably going, shut up, go to the next thing. We know the story, Cindy. Dennis O'Connor, you know what? He just found some of your comments that you had for last
Scattered.
week. So
Yeah.
So if you want to comment, go ahead. He's now watching it and monitoring it. So you can comment if you want to or ask a question. James hasn't asked a question in a while. Is he in town? James, not James, Andrew. Andrew has a.
Man.
The look on your face was so funny. Wait a minute. I don't know James.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. Oh,
Andrew.
that's my other life when I'm on the streets. Have you seen James? He owes me some money. That's why you have the trash cans in your trunk. You put people on the trash can.
It's
what you do.
advertising
Yeah.
is a trashy car.
No, Andrew's out of town. He is actually. We came up with this great idea for Audience of One, where we need to make a funny sticker because he travels a lot for work. And I was like, what you need to do is just take like 10 stickers with you and then put them on stop signs. You know, put them on places that are kind of neat. Because he visits neat places, unfortunately, for him. That's what I love.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I have to travel, so I won't be able to do the show. I'm like, oh, woe is you, man. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to California. And I'm like, oh, man, that sounds terrible. Well, he's in Chicago right now, and I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of crazy.
Poor thing.
But I think that'd be a lot of fun, though, because that's the fun thing about the weather. It's like you get to experience a whole new world where you have to have snow tires and things like that.
Chains on your tires. That's.
But I mean, like, he's there temporarily, so enjoy it while you're there.
But it's so weird because our cold is that wet cold, and it is.
Come out here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like, are you looking forward to Monday?
Is it going to be what?
It's like 20 degrees.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. I saw it's going to be 32 this week.
Yeah, I was looking at, I was setting up my week, and especially like working outside and doing things, and I was like, oh my God, Monday is going to be 20 degrees. That's going to be gnarly. So I think we're going to do a polar plunge. You want to do it?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get that bathing suit out, and that would be great.
Yeah.
You're going to do a polar plunge. Where?
In the pool.
And just in the pool? Oh, you're not
Yeah.
go to. I thought you were supposed to go out to the ocean or something like that to do
You
that.
can do it anywhere. Like people do it like
Bathtub?
in a tub with ice. But it's just got to be cold. I think it's got to be. I mean, I'm pretty sure 20-degree weather is not going to. The pool's
Freeze
not
it.
going to be 20, but
No. It
It's
won't
gonna be
freeze it
cold.
or anything. Yes, it's going to be very, very cold. Why people do that? Now, I know at the spa they used to do that. They were.
are you really questioning why people do things?
Well,
Well,
it's so
let's be real here.
weird. It's so weird, but they at this. I don't know anybody out there remembers Woman's World. It was like. It was just a gym for women, a workout place for women.
Yeah, safe space. That's the beginning of the safe space.
Yes, and they had a ice, like an ice pool. I
Yeah.
mean, it's cold, really cold. You swim in that, and then you go get in the hot tub,
Yeah.
and then you get out and go into the ice,
Yeah.
the water, and the circulation that it would build was would help you burn calories and stuff, and that was very invigorating. But I mean, I was only like 19 or something when I did that, so it wasn't a big deal. But I can't imagine now jumping in the pool. If you've had a quadruple bypass, what would your heart stand or not stand?
I don't know.
And you have titanium holding your chest together.
Yeah.
What could you do and not do? That would be
Not a roller coaster.
no. I guess it probably has those small letters underneath the. The disclaimer that says, if you have high blood pressure, you don't do
You
these
accept
things.
all responsibility when you get on this.
Yeah.
one.
You need to sign. See, you don't sign a waiver, though.
Well, that's one thing I love about like the bowling alley, and I didn't even know this was like I never read it. Was when you go up to the keypad and it's like press the red button to start, but it has all this jargon. But the first thing it says, push the red button to start, so you don't read it. But it basically says you assume all responsibility for risk and bodily harm and all this kind of stuff.
If all your stuff is stolen off the tables, then
Well, I don't know about that. I just meant more of like people slipping and going on the lanes, and
oh yeah,
people get hurt. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. A young, older gentleman fell, and he legit fell on his ball in his face. So he's like bowling, and he slipped, and he fell forward, and his hand landed, and then his face landed on his hand, which had a ball in it. He had like 15 or 18 stitches. It's pretty gnarly. It's pretty cool. But he's an older gentleman, so you think it's like the worst case scenario. Like, oh, this guy's not going to live.
Did you call 911?
I wasn't there.
Oh.
I always hear those cool stories when I'm not there.
Did you? Have you ever been where someone threw the ball and it went over into the next lane?
Oh, yeah.
What did they do?
They're just, I mean, they don't. A lot of times when that happens, it's because they choose a ball weight that's too small.
Too light.
Yeah. And they just don't know how to release when you're supposed to release.
Uh-huh.
That's when that happens a lot. But then again, it's like no one has the practical mind when they go bowling. They just want to throw a rock down a lane and hit some pins.
But I hadn't seen so many people that now just put just these fingers in and they hold it like that and they sling it.
Yeah.
And it's going so hard. I don't know how the alleys stand that ball coming down like that and hitting it before it goes and hits the pins.
Well, that's what they're built for.
Wow.
But then you get people who will have their children, and they'll take their children's balls and they'll use those, and they're like, "Man, why isn't this working?" I'm like, you're throwing a 6-pound ball 20 miles an hour.
Right.
It's just going to bounce off. It's not going to go through. You got to go through it. But
I was. You'd love this. I mean, you'd understand, Cindy. You're sitting there, and I'm advising everybody, guys. What you have to do is you have to watch this arrow and they said, you get up and bowl. I said, no, I don't need to bowl. I know I can bowl. They said, but if they followed my advice, they were getting strikes. But if they took their eye off of where their hand's supposed to come straight up, and if their hand didn't come straight up,
I need you to come train me. We bowled last night, and I did so bad. I was like in a weird funk. It was bad.
Was it going all over the place, or you never got a gutter ball though?
No, my buddy did though, so we laughed at him.
Oh man,
Actually both my buddies did. I was like, man, this team just sucks. And the greatest part, we're bowling about one of my buddies, Danny. He's an older gentleman, and I believe he was with his wife and his buddy, and they're all, I gotta say, over 60. Sorry, Danny, if that's not the case. But I was looking at our scores, going like, we're letting these people beat us. We're trash. Why are we even here? But then we had fun. We had a good laugh about it.
Well, so these are teams that y'all just put together?
It's leagues.
People that come in?
It's a league, so you play a different team every week.
Okay. Well, did you choose the team you were going to be
on?
Yeah,
they're my good friends, like some of my best friends.
And y'all are really good?
Well, they haven't bowled in a year.
Oh.
They abandoned me a year ago when I needed them most.
When you needed them most.
And, but yeah, they're like, hey, we're not going to bowl for a while. I'm like, okay, I guess I got to figure this one out and make new friends, better friends, which I did. And, but they wanted to come back. So I was like, yeah, let's do it.
So now you're back with them, and they're getting better, and they're starting.
I mean, I didn't bowl well either, so they made fun of me. Like, we haven't bowled in a year, and you're still terrible. I'm like, yeah, thanks, man.
Well, let me ask you, what do you think of the State of the Union now? Is there any political thing you want to discuss that's happened?
Man,
does you think it's funny that?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
No, I think what's funny is the internet liking that woman. Andrew was telling me about this. That young lady who got just recently released from jail when she killed her mom because her mom basically was at Munchausen's or something like that. Basically, the mother kept this young, like, growing up lady.
Yeah,
like,
she couldn't.
You're sick. You're supposed to stay here. And then when she discovered she wasn't sick, she did the typical woman thing and convinced her boyfriend to kill her mom. So typical, right? Like, she didn't want to do it herself.
Right.
She got the boyfriend. Now she's got a new boyfriend. Typical.
Because the other one's in jail.
Yeah, the other one's in jail. But no, that's kind of amazing to me because especially with that story is not an old story. That story happens all the time.
Yeah.
Right? But now the internet's here, and so she has her own account. Now she's just like a star. And everything I see is like, did you see what she said? I'm like, man, that's kind of funny that like people are paying attention to this woman. She's kind of crazy. I like it. But then again, it's like that's what social media is, very entertaining now to me. Like I'm having fun. I post stuff now. I'm like really active. My friends are giving me a hard time about it, and I'm like, I'm just having fun. Like I see a picture, I'm like, let's do that, or and it's almost like now what I want to do is just make jokes.
Right.
But I'm going to take pictures of people and make fun of them. I'm like, I don't really want to.
And make fun of them?
Yeah. Like, I want to take a picture of you and say something, like, really mean.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. I've got plenty of pictures you can have.
I'm just kidding.
No, I have so many pictures.
No, I already have it. I take a picture of us talking, and I'll be like, I did my senior duty today. Help a senior today.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah. That's what
You did your...
my help a senior duty. You're like, you always help the old lady across the
Across
street.
the street.
Look
yeah.
at me. I'm just such a good servant.
He
helping
is.
people.
Actually, he could claim that because having someone this old, as old as I am, on the show, and it's just amazing. Live.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
I love it.
And so he's always, he asked me, he says, now what should I be looking for you to have a stroke? Like what are some of the signs that I should
James?
know?
Have you seen James? And then I'll be like, oh, she's having a stroke. I don't know who James is. She's doing it.
I've done that
You've already done it today, so I was like, oh man, I got the phone.
The look on your face.
We gotta drag her out. Not my problem. We got a show starting at 3:00. We gotta get her out.
The look. I watch his face when I say something and go like, okay, that's not right. Because he didn't hide anything. He doesn't go like, let me look that up. Or anything like that. It's like,
No, that's one thing I kind of constantly love is being able to say whatever I want and be like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's see the concept. Because I remember like growing up, I was just the same way, and I would tell adults to shove it or like whatever. Not to shove it, but
just get a reaction.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm going to say this. Let's see what happens. Especially like with my buddy's parents.
That you do that with your buddy's parents?
I loved messing with my buddy's parents. Like my favorite ongoing joke was, like the living room always had the couch, and that's where we all hang out.
Yeah.
And this was before we could drive.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the mom would be walking through the living room, going to like the kitchen or whatever, and I could hear her walking, and I was like, man, Thomas, last night we drank so many beers. That was crazy, wasn't it? And the mom would walk up like, what?
You were drinking.
You're drinking beers.
You can't hang out with them anymore. You're like, I bet when you watched Leave It to Beaver, your favorite person was Eddie, right?
I've never seen Leave It to Beaver.
I
know what it is, but I never I have no idea who Eddie is.
Eddie Haskell was the guy that came in and would just say the most outrageous things, but when the parents came in, he was like, you look so good with those pearls on. I like those pearls.
I was always the friend that the parents trusted them to be with.
Wow.
So I even my favorite thing was, senior year was happening, and all my friends would always say like, oh, hey, by the way, if my mom calls your mom or calls you or whatever, like I was with you.
Oh.
And I'm like, man, do I really have to deal with this? And so yeah, like that became a thing, and I was okay with it because I'm always trying to have fun but be safe while having fun.
And when did you tell the parents that he really wasn't with me? When did you finally confess?
There was one time. This is funny. One of my friends, and I've known for 10 years at the time, he did something stupid, got caught drinking. He was drunk, got home. Parents were livid. And he said, well, I was at Richard's house. And I remember his mother calling me and really upset with me. She's like, I'm so disappointed in you, Richard. Like, da-da-da. And I was like, wait a second. Like, I know I drink. I know that's a thing. I'm not going to deny that. But he was not with me. So I'm not going to get blamed for this one. Because that's not the truth. I don't know where he was. He showed up to my house. I said, you got to get a safe ride home. You're out of here. And she's like, that's what. I was like, yeah, he was somewhere else. I have no idea where he was.
Oh. So he came to
house. He came to my party
to cover himself.
He came to my party
so he could tell her.
I noticed. I was like, dude, you're 3 sheets to the wind. What's going on with you? Are you okay? And he's like, oh, I'm like, you gotta get home, dude. Someone take him home. So someone took him home. But he said like the whole thing was on me. And I'm like, no. I ain't taking responsibility for that.
You know what's bad is it because I don't drink, but when I had when I had that first stroke, that's what you sound like. I mean, because you can't
Oh yeah.
say your words, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's what Sam said. No, there's something wrong with you. You're having a stroke because you're slurring your words. And I went,
Oh, now remember that I told you about that time in the studio where that young man had I thought it was a stroke because I'm listening doing the levels, and I was like, this guy is tongue tied, and I look over, actually look at him, I'm like, oh, he's gonna fall, and he just whoosh, and just hit his head on the table, and I was like, here we go.
he passed out.
Oh yeah, I don't know what happened to him. It was I forgot what show it was or when it was exactly, but I remember having the conversation with the party, and they were like, "Hey, did you film it?" And I was like, "Yeah, don't sue me." And I didn't do anything wrong. And they're like, "No, the doctor wants to see exactly what happened."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Well, I'm only giving this." I go, "You got to write a statement. I'm only
Yeah,
giving this
right.
because I'm not getting in trouble for this one. I can
Ooh.
smell it. I can smell it." And yeah.
Oh, if you're listening to, they've shown people on reporters, they're doing their thing, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden they start going, blah, blah, blah,
Oh yeah,
and then
it's
they go,
scary. It's
"That's
scary. And
how fast it
but I already
happens."
know what to do with you.
What are you gonna do?
I just drag you out and put you out there and talk to these lovely people out here. Hey, she's having issues, and then
Yeah.
I shut the door.
And you'll go to break.
Yeah. No, I mean, I did a break. When this was actually happening, the story outside, I literally had to go, okay, real quick. And no one knew what to respond. I was like, pick him up, make sure he's okay. Everyone was just looking down, like, oh my God, they got his stuff.
People don't know. People don't know what to do. That's what's scary. Luckily, I was at my house and
We called
Sam was there.
911.
Sam called 911, and they said, "Keep her awake. Keep her talking. Keep her." And I didn't. I just said, I just kept saying, I need water. Just give me water. I think I'm dehydrated.
You're like, water. What?
My
baby.
No, it's
It's
really,
scary. I know.
because you can't control anything you're saying. Is so
Well, again,
strange.
that's why you have to be grateful every day. I'm grateful every day that you're here
Oh, thank
on
you.
this earth.
You're so sweet.
But I'm also
Richard.
worried that the next life you're going to be there, and that's where I'm kind of like, I already got my fill in the first life. Now is this considered a punishment? Like I'm kind of getting mixed
I'm
messages.
in hell.
I got mixed messages here. I try to be a good person, but now I have to deal with Cindy again.
Again. Yes. He'll put us in charge of. He has a whole line of people he wants to interview. Everybody say, who would you like to interview? And I said, well, I would like to interview God, but if he's not available, I would love to interview Jesus. That would be such an incredible interview.
I feel like interviewing God would be like interviewing a know-it-all. You know, it's like any question you ask, he give you like the exact right answer. Like, this isn't fun. Like, this isn't fun. I guess you got to ask like real crazy questions. Like, but then again, you'd probably be like, well, actually, I'm like, man, come on. Like,
well, all his answers are in the book, but at a Christian camp, I did that. But I interviewed Satan, though, is what.
see, Satan would be more fun because I feel like Satan's creative. Like, constantly, he has to be creative. So he's always thinking of different things. Like, God's kind of like, this is it. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And
I am the I am.
yeah,
That's
it's
it.
boring. It's
Yeah.
boring.
That Connor, I tried to get Connor to be Satan. He was going to be behind a
Okay.
door.
I mean, he
It's just
kind of
gonna
looks
be-
the part, so I can see it.
and I just need his voice, and that was it. And he had to change his voice to try and be scary. But then I had the kids, write questions they would ask Satan if they wanted to. It was so much.
Well, see that
This
way
is fun.
that could really go both ways. Like doing that to children, having that scenario set up.
And
It's
to
like,
listen.
Satan, do you love me? Of course I love you.
No, it was
I'll do
always
anything for you.
No,
I literally will have you sign a contract, and I'll provide whatever you want. And to me, that sounds great. Like if I'm a 6-year-old, I'm like, whoa, cool.
How would you like to have ice cream
What am
every day?
Here's a good story. We do have to shut down in a couple minutes. But I would, in school, one of my buddies had a great joke. I loved it. So he got a napkin and put, so-and-so's soul and signed it took a picture of it, and put it on eBay. And word got around school, and people were bidding on it. And I remember one of our teachers. People didn't know I went to a Christian school growing up, and it was just like What I loved is the response from the teachers were basically saying like, "You're in so much trouble for doing this," and he's like, "It's just a napkin." Like I was kidding around, and he had one of the best jokes was when I think it was we had a dean of discipline. And he was giving a speech to the class or whatever, and they're like, this is inappropriate, this isn't funny, and he's like, well, it wasn't legit. I didn't put my blood on it. It wasn't a blood oath, like I didn't. And I was like, this guy's going for it. Whatever. But yeah, it was a good joke because people, I think, someone went on eBay and bid like $10 million or $10 million.
No, people were really bidding.
Oh yeah. Well, this is like before the times where we actually had to do like credit checks and stuff on eBay.
Yeah.
So because that became a thing in school, it was like everyone was trying, because we didn't have smartphones or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So we were trying to get on computers throughout the day, like on the library or whatever, and everyone was trying to bid on it. And so it became a thing where people were like, why are all these people going on computers? It's like, because we're trying to bid on this guy's soul. But yeah, that was
possess his soul.
That was a good joke. I really enjoyed that one.
See, Richard, sometimes he really has a really good heart, and he's really sweet, and he's really kind. But sometimes he does have random statements that you go like,
"Oh no,
what's this guy about?"
No, another recent one I did was Andrew from Audience One. We're having our show, and he was telling me a story about, I'm not sure how it happened, but he got one of those metal strips from purchasing clothes or an item from a store, and it like fell off, but fell into either his I forgot where it fell into. It was either like his jean pocket or something. Like it was just there, so every time he went to the store, the security would go off when he was leaving, and he's like couldn't figure it out. Then he finally found it, and I go, let me have that. And I took the strip, and then I was visiting a buddy, and I if he's listening, he knows what this is. I put it in a shoe. And I was like, I'm waiting for him to like encounter, because I imagine he has different pairs of shoes, so he's not wearing the same shoes every day. But when he wears those shoes to a store, and he's like, man, what is going on? And then 3 weeks later, he puts the same shoes back on and goes to another place. Man, what is going on? See, that's pretty good. And
I didn't get to tell you about all the air tags that Sam ordered and started putting on all my different things so that I couldn't lose anything. Listen, tomorrow is Catherine Lane, and she did the Nikki Garcia mystery series, and the new one is a Stolen Diary that she's going to talk about. So it sounds, I can't wait to talk to her. Okay, anyway, and today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation, and we appreciate you every day. We love our first responders. Okay, love you. See ya.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of